There's this thing that happens every Sunday around 6 p.m. You're just sitting there, totally fine. And then it hits, this wave of dread. Your stomach drops. You start thinking about Monday morning, and suddenly you feel sick. Most people think that's normal, but what if it's not? What if that feeling is your body trying to warn you about something way more serious than just work stress? A toxic workplace doesn't just stress you out, it changes how you think, it rewires your brain, and it happens so slowly that most people don't realize what's happening until they're already deep in it. Today, I'm walking you through 6 signs, and I guarantee one of them is going to hit you harder than you expect. Let's start with the one that explains why you're still there. Sign number 1. You feel trapped. You think about quitting constantly, in the shower, during meetings, while you're trying to fall asleep. You imagine the conversation where you finally tell them you're done. You picture walking out that door for the last time, but you never actually do it. Why? Because what if you can't find something better? What if the next place is worse? What if you're the problem? And you'll just bring this with you wherever you go? So you make deals with yourself. Just one more year. Just until I save more money. Just until this project finishes. Except 1 year becomes 3. 3 becomes 5. And suddenly, you've been miserable way longer than you were ever happy. And there's another layer to this that people don't talk about. The longer you stay, the more your identity gets tangled up with the job. You start defining yourself by it, your skills, your worth, your daily routine. All of it revolves around this place. Leaving starts to feel like losing a piece of who you are, even though who you are inside that building is someone you barely recognize anymore. But here's the thing. Staying doesn't just waste your time. It starts changing who you are in ways you don't even notice. And that's where the real damage begins. Sign number 2. You stopped speaking up. Think back to your first few weeks at this job. You probably shared ideas in meetings, asked questions when something didn't make sense, pointed out problems before they got worse. When's the last time you did any of that? Now? You sit through entire meetings without saying a word. It's not that you don't have thoughts. You've got plenty. You see the problems, you know the solutions, but you've learned something. Speaking up backfires. Your suggestions get shot down. Your questions get twisted into complaints. Your concerns turn you into the negative person nobody wants to work with. So now, you nod, you smile, and you scream internally. Maybe you tried again once or twice, after the first time went badly. You thought maybe it was the timing, or the wording, or the mood in the room. So you chose your moment carefully, picked your words perfectly, and it still blew up in your face. That's the moment most people give up, not because they ran out of ideas, but because they ran out of faith that their ideas would ever be heard. And here's what nobody tells you. Once you train yourself to stay quiet at work, that habit doesn't stay there. You stop advocating for yourself in relationships. You stop standing up for what you believe in. Your voice doesn't just disappear at work, it disappears everywhere. Sign number 3. You don't trust yourself anymore. Remember when you used to trust your own judgment? You knew you were good at your job. You could make decisions without overthinking everything. Now, you second-guess everything. You write an email, delete it, rewrite it, delete it again. You finish something, redo it 3 times before sending it, just in case it's wrong. You ask for approval on things you used to handle by yourself. This didn't happen overnight. It was every project that went well but nobody noticed. Every small mistake that got blown out of proportion. Every time you were blamed for something that wasn't your fault. Every criticism with 0 praise to balance it out. Death by 1,000 cuts, each one small enough to dismiss, all of them together, completely reshaping how you see yourself. And the worst part, you start rewriting your own history. You look back at past wins and think, maybe I just got lucky. Maybe anyone could have done that. Maybe I was never as good as I thought I was. That's not perspective. That's toxicity. Talking. And when you stop trusting yourself, you start depending on validation from other people, which, in a toxic environment, almost never comes. So, the self-doubt just keeps growing. Sign number 4. Everyone knows, but nobody says it. Here's the weird part. Everyone knows your workplace is messed up. You can see it in people's faces, in the lack of eye contact, in conversations that stop when management walks by, in how nobody volunteers for anything anymore, but nobody actually says it out loud. Instead, everyone pretends. Meetings are full of fake enthusiasm. People respond to insane requests with "sounds great." Emails are aggressively polite, while everyone is furious on the inside. You'll catch little moments, though. An eye roll after a meeting ends. A sarcastic joke under someone's breath. Two people sharing a look when the boss says something ridiculous. Those cracks matter. They prove everyone sees it. But the rule is clear. You can acknowledge it privately, in whispers, but never openly. Then someone quits. Public story, pursuing new opportunities. Exciting next chapter. Private reality, they escaped. They couldn't take it anymore. Does anyone say that? No, everyone acts shocked. Wow, that came out of nowhere. While secretly thinking, I wish that were me. This collective silence is how toxic workplaces survive. If nobody admits it's broken, nothing has to change. And meanwhile, the damage continues. Sign number 5. Your body is breaking down headaches that only happen on workdays. Sunday night insomnia. Waking up exhausted no matter how much you sleep. Getting sick constantly because your immune system has given up. You tell yourself everyone deals with stress, so you push through. More coffee, more painkillers, less rest. But your body knows something you're trying to ignore. You're stuck in fight or flight mode, 40 hours a week. Your nervous system thinks you're being chased by a predator, except the predator is your job, and it never stops. You're exhausted, but wired. Food doesn't appeal to you, or you can't stop stress eating. Your jaw hurts. Your shoulders are always tense. Random aches come and go without explanation. People start saying, "You look tired," and no amount of sleep fixes it. Maybe you saw a doctor. They ran tests. Everything came back normal. They suggested meditation, managing stress better. But here's what they missed. You're not bad at handling stress. The amount of stress you're being forced to carry is not normal. Your body is trying to tell you something. The question is, are you listening? Sign number 6. You've stopped caring. This one sneaks up on you. You used to care about doing good work, about doing it right. Now, you're just going through the motions, bare minimum, no emotional investment. Mistakes happen, and you shrug. It's not your problem anymore. People call this quiet quitting, but that's not what this is. This is what happens when a workplace takes someone who genuinely cared and grinds them down until there's nothing left. You're not lazy. You're not unmotivated. You're protecting yourself, because caring in a toxic workplace is like pouring water into a bucket with holes. Eventually, you stop pouring. That version of you that was excited, that stayed late voluntarily, that felt proud of your work, isn't gone. They're buried under months, sometimes years, of being overlooked, overworked, and undervalued. The apathy isn't the disease, it's the bandage. And the scary part? This numbness doesn't stay at work. You start caring less about everything. Hobbies feel heavy. Relationships feel exhausting. You're running on empty. When apathy becomes your default mode, that's not laziness. That's survival. So, what do you actually do? First, stop blaming yourself. You didn't lose your voice because you're weak. Your confidence didn't disappear because you're incompetent. Your body isn't breaking down because you're soft. This is what happens to normal people in toxic environments. Talk to someone you trust, a friend, a therapist, someone who can help you see clearly. Because toxic workplaces thrive on isolation. They want you to think you're alone, that you're the problem. You're not. Start building an exit. Even if you can't leave today, prepare. Update your resume, reconnect with people. Apply, even casually. Options restore power and stop overperforming. Toxic workplaces don't reward effort, they exploit it. Do your job well, then go home. Save your best energy for your actual life. People will notice the shift. They may question it. Good. That's how you know it's working. Once you see this pattern, you can't unsee it. And here's the hard truth. Toxic workplaces don't fix themselves. The people who created this aren't going to change. Every month you stay, they take more. Your confidence, your health, your time, your sense of self. And you're worth more than that. If this hit close to home, you're not imagining it. You're not alone, and you deserve better than this.